Today we'll talk about designing an effective resume. We will discuss the resume's importance, provide recommendations to get your resume noticed, share resources available for resume assistance, and walk through a resume sample, section by section, with tips and recommendations. Now let's discuss the importance of a resume. Why do we need one? And what are employers looking for on a resume? Think of your resume as a marketing tool. It's designed to get you noticed and lead to a job interview. Recruiters have very short attention spans. They often spend as little as 5 seconds when looking at your resume. So we have to catch their attention quickly with relevant and important information by being clear and concise. Before a recruiter even looks at your resume, often a computer program called an applicant tracking system will be the first thing your resume encounters. It will rapidly scan your resume for keywords or words that are unique to the job or industry that you're interested in and determine if you're qualified. As such, it's essential to tailor your resume to each specific opportunity. Remember, your resume is a snapshot. It cannot capture everything about you, but it should provide enough compelling information to spark interest and prompt the employer to contact you and ask for an interview. A resume is a staple in various application processes. Whether you're applying for internships, on-campus jobs, full-time employment, or graduate programs, a resume is required. It's your first opportunity to make an impression. Now, for graduate school applications, a variant of the resume called a CV might be needed. For this presentation, we're focusing just on resumes, but the Career Center can help with the CV as well. We have plenty of resources to help you perfect your resume. Visit the Career Center website for best practices and a variety of sample resumes. There's also VMock, an AI tool that helps write and format your resume and reviews it when you are done. And don't forget about the Career Center team. Make an appointment on Handshake for a personal review. Before we dive into a specific resume sample, here are some tips to keep in mind. Customize your resume for each application. Use keywords from the job description to help your resume pass through the applicant tracking system, or ATS, filters. Proofread carefully to avoid spelling errors and typos, as mistakes will likely result in automatic disqualification. Having others, such as the Career Center, review your resume is an excellent way to eliminate mistakes. Keep your resume easy to read with consistent formatting. Use a 10 to 12 point font and don't use heavy formatting like tables or graphics, as these will disrupt ATS parsing. 1-inch margins on the top, right, left, and bottom are ideal. Stick to 1 or 2 pages. For most college students, 1 page is sufficient. Use business-like fonts, such as Times New Roman, Arial, or Calibri, to maintain visual integrity with consistent font size and style. Place your strongest selling points towards the top, which as a college student will be your education, and avoid including unnecessary details like a career summary or personal hobbies. On the Career Center website, there are numerous resume samples, including examples specific to our career communities. Here's one example for someone named Lawrence Viking. Let's walk through the sections of a resume. Earlier, we shared that the order of a resume is important, meaning your strongest selling points belong at the top of the document. What follows is the general order of a resume, although your personal circumstances may require a slightly different approach. At the top of your resume, include your preferred name, phone number, and email address. Remember that the phone number you list must have a professional voicemail greeting so the caller can leave you a voicemail message. The email address you include is also important. It's safe to use your Lawrence student email address, but for those entering your senior year, you may want to switch to a different address since your student email will eventually go away. If using a non-Lawrence email, stick to some variation of your first and last name, and avoid referencing hobbies, sports, celebrities, and anything that might be considered inappropriate. The next section on your resume is your education information. List your school, anticipated graduation date, the degree you will earn, majors, minors, and GPA if it's 3.0 or higher. Focus on Lawrence University. It may be appropriate to include your high school if this is your first year in college, but not after that. Other colleges are mostly omitted from this section except in unusual circumstances, such as earning a degree from an overseas institution or other rare credential. Beyond the first two sections, there is flexibility as to the order of the other information on your resume. You may wish to complement your education by adding relevant honors or academic achievements. Related coursework and significant class projects or research could be included here. This is excellent information to capture if you do not have a lot of work experience related to your field of interest. In the honors section, you may include scholarships you received, including a brief description of the scholarship, if not obvious from the title, and dates of the scholarship if applicable. Academic achievements, such as making the Dean's List, can also be included. Honor societies, including the dates of participation, is another possible item to include in this section. Another possibility is an academic details section. There are a couple of options here. One option is simply listing related courses. This can be effective to highlight specialized courses connected to your field of interest, such as data scientific programming, biology, or other STEM-oriented classes. You should not list all of your courses. Classes generically titled, such as Intro to classes and first-year studies, should be avoided. A more effective variation of this approach is to provide information in bulleted form that describes concepts learned in the class, projects, research experience, and technology or equipment or processes used in the course. Next up in your resume enterprise is the experience section. All experiences, paid, unpaid, internships, student organizations, and volunteer efforts potentially bring value. But not every experience must be reflected on the resume. Only include relevant experiences and list them in reverse chronological order, with your current or most recent experience first, and then go back in time as you work down the page. For each entry, provide job titles, organization names, locations, dates, and bulleted descriptions of your duties and accomplishments. Do not include supervisor names, addresses, and phone numbers of the organizations. Bulleted descriptions reflect skills demonstrated in present or past experiences that relate to your career field of interest. Bulleted statements begin with an action verb that captures an important skill employers desire. Here is a document included on our website that groups potential action verbs by skill. Connect the action verb to a description of something you accomplished in an experience. Quantifying can make a bulleted statement even more impactful. Suggestions of bulleted content is available on the Career Center website, broken down by major and career communities. It may also be effective to group experiences into different sections to highlight one set of experiences over another. Also remember, in your experience section, maintain consistent verb tense. That is, present tense for current roles and past tense for prior roles, and avoid the use of first-person pronouns, such as I or my. Skills is another section that may bring value to your resume. Highlight skills that are specific to your field or industry, such as languages or technology. Avoid generic skills, such as communication, organized, critical thinking, hard worker, etc. Not sure if it's a skill? Ask yourself if it's something you could physically demonstrate. If not, it's probably not a skill for your resume. This section should be formatted as a bulleted list. Now, if you successfully communicate your skills in your experience section, you may not need a skills section. We've shared a great deal of information. Here are some key takeaways. Tailor your resume for each application using relevant keywords. Keep it simple, yet provide depth. Focus on accomplishments, and ensure the resume is error-free. Remember, help is available. Use VMOC and the Career Center for support. So what's next? Use VMOC to revise your existing resume or create a new one. Go to the Career Center page, scroll to our platforms, and you will see the link to log into VMOC. Access VMOC through our website using your Lawrence credentials. Schedule an appointment with the Career Center for additional guidance. This may be done through Handshake. Thanks for watching. Contact the Career Center with questions or if you need further assistance.